Welcome to Inside the Deal. I'm Suzanne Stevens. I'm here with Tom Walton. Tom is head of corporate development for Joy Global. Tom, tell me a little bit about Joy Global and just how active you guys have been in the M&A market of late.
Well, Joy Global is a leading provider of above ground and underground mining equipment. We have sales all over the world, a lot of international business. We've gotten more active in M&A in the last really 12 to 18 months. It started with an acquisition in 2006 of Stamler, and then we bought Continental Conveying and Crushing, in February of 08, and just a few weeks ago signed a deal to buy a Chinese underground shear manufacturer.
Well, you're very representative of strategics in the market right now, at least those that have a strong balance sheet. So what's it like to be in the market right now versus a couple years ago when you were maybe at a more of a disadvantage than at the moment?
You can tell by my smile.
I know,
delighted.
You seem very happy.
We, a few years ago I got clobbered on deal after deal when we competed against private equity. Now it's a bit more level playing field where leverage has come down, if it even exists at all for firms. So I think it positions corporate buyers extremely well. Those with strong balance sheets, whether they have cash or stock or revolvers to use on deals, we're well positioned that way. So we're very comfortable, and I think it's a good time.
Are you seeing fewer private equity firms actually at the table when deals are out there, when opportunities are there?
I see it, yes, but I don't always know directly. But I get it because when I get a deal book, what happens is I'll have the investment banker coming back to me more frequently, so I know there's not as large a pool out there, and you can always, at the end of the day, get them to disclose a little bit that they only have so many good hot buyers.
They're anxious to sell,
yeah,
yes, to make the deal work.
So we sit back and we're patient.
And is that a luxury you didn't have a couple of years ago?
It didn't exist. I mean, there were multiple private equity firms and multiple corporations chasing things a few years ago. Now today, it's much better. The pace is a more sane pace, a little less pressure on the deals.
Your thoughts on private equity and strategics actually teaming up or partnering at a time when some private equity firms need some help, certainly on the equity front?
I think it's a real sane thing to do, because there's an opportunity for every strategic, and I've spent a great part of my M&A career learning how they do it. That being the private equities, and so I think if you understand how they do business, we do. I think it's easy to work with them because you're thinking the same things, you're using the same parameters in evaluating deals. So I'm looking forward to working with some of them as some of their properties come available.
And is it strictly an equity proposition, or are there opportunities where there's a equal shared control or shared input on turning a business around or moving it forward?
I don't know that we'd have shared control, because corporations don't get real comfortable with that. Joint ventures and so forth aren't the top of our list. But I think more so, if there's a piece of a company we want and a big chunk that we don't want, then that's an opportunity to work with a private equity firm and go and get the deal done that way. But you have to know the firms that are in those markets and buying in those spaces. Well,
Tom, that sounds great, just talking about it, but in reality, it doesn't really seem to happen that often. And I'm curious your thoughts on why that might be. Is it a mindset? Is it an attitude? Why aren't we seeing more true partnerships?
I think it's a little bit the DNA of corporations. A lot of corporate development guys tend to think of private equity as the enemy. And, they're the guys that have been killing us for years, beating us out of deals. I think when that mindset changes, which I think it is now, you'll see more opportunities for that. It's never going to be the same, because the DNA is a little bit different there, but I think people will look at it as an opportunity.
We hopefully will come out of this uncertain, crisis-driven market that we're in, whether it be a year, 18 months, whatever. Do you think we'll see a different type of buyer at that point, or different types of deals because of the pain of the last year and a half?
I certainly hope so. I hope we see more disciplined deal making. I think as credit loosens, I think we'll see a bit more leverage again, but I hope that we don't return to the days when, as we said in one of the presentations today, where it's 8 or 9 times leverage on a deal, where it's just bigger than the enterprise value of the deal. I don't think those days will come back. I think with what the government's doing, there's going to be a lot more restrictions on financing, so hopefully those days don't return.
Tom Walton with Joy Global, thanks for talking with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Suzanne Stevens. Thanks for watching Inside the Deal.